First of all, I had to give thanks to all those who've come together to come out here today, to the clerk's office, the city manager's office, and all the staff that transformed this auditorium to what we see today. Thank you, Raina. I know you was nervous. Thank you for coming up here and introducing me. One of my greatest joys is always ensuring that our youth have an opportunity to step up to leadership positions and shine. So I want to be thankful for all the youth that came up today, giving their Pledge of Allegiance and also their speech. Thank you. Miss Terry, how do you say it? Raquavia Terry. Thank you very much. There's very few students that actually know and understand the history in the city of Opa locka, and it is important that we do understand who we are as a city, because what we do as a city is for our youth, who is the future of our community. We exist as a city for our community. And I want to make sure y'all hear me on this point. We tend to think of the government as a far-removed group of people that take our tax money and make decisions on our behalf. While that is actually true, the significance is that each and every one of us is a part of the government. We, the people, all the adults in the room who pay taxes, who vote, volunteer, and work for this community are part of the government. And it is our responsibility, each of us, to manage this institution for our community and our future. We are here today because we are concerned about Opa, Tisha, Waka, Locka. This city was named by the Seminoles way back in the 1800s because they came upon this land and they saw it as a refuge for them. When the government at the time was trying to take the land away from them, they fought and gave America its longest, costliest war. They continued to establish this community. And when Glenn Curtis came to this land, he saw the potential of this community and established a city. A city where our kids and our youth can shine. As homeowners in this community, we have invested ourselves to raise our families in this community. As business owners and property owners, we have tied our success to the success of this city. In all of these situations, at the end of the day, we do what we do to provide for our families, which means our children and our future. So here we are, entering our 94th year of existence. And we are at a critical juncture, a turning point in the history of our community, where literally the very fate of our existence is being questioned. Due to the decisions of the past, we are facing some serious challenges that threaten the livelihood of our future. And it is on those of us right here in this room to ensure that our future shines. Last time I came before you, 2 months after being elected, I gave a State of the City address that revolved around 4 major challenges that we were facing as a city. Since that time, the State of Florida Auditor General's Office released a report, their operational audit on the city, that had 99 findings. It was one of the largest they ever done on the city. It was an eye-opening assessment of what happened in the past and what we must do moving forward. Finding after finding pointed to a disregard for rules and regulations inadequate policies and procedures, turnover in key staff positions, and a lack of accountability. Such findings will cause major disruptions in any organization or institution. In a city that services 16,000 residents, almost 3,000 businesses, with a $46 million budget, that can have wide-ranging effects. It affects the quality of life of our roads and streets, the state of our parks and facilities, what type of programs we can offer our youth and seniors, the caliber of people we employ to serve the community, how people are paid, how easy it is for a business to open and create jobs, and the look and feel of our city. These details of government we feel each and every day, but it is not on the forefront of our minds. And that is why it is extremely important that we point and we focus on the basics. When I ran for office, I was very much so focused on making sure we have the foundations of this city. Because we look around and we see there's so much going on that we have to tackle. And our residents knew that we need to go in a different direction. Because just 14 months ago, when 4 out of 5 seats were up for election, they voted for all new leadership. This was a strategic move, a big deal that put us in a better situation as a city. It showed the world that our residents, our community knew that we needed to go in a new direction and that we were going to take the first steps to handle and address our own issues. When we went up to Tallahassee in front of the Joint Legislative Auditing Committee to present on where we are as a city, many of the representatives continued to comment and ask if the city was still under the same leadership. The answer was no. The media and everyone now has to give us a chance to right the wrongs of the past. And this commission took the call for change and made sure that we get the right people in the positions. For those that may not be familiar with the city of Opa locka, this is a council manager form of government, which means it takes 5 votes to set policy that is followed by our city manager, who actually runs the government. I cannot hire nobody, y'all. I cannot give contracts. I cannot tell somebody to go fix potholes. None of us as a commission can do that. We have to be an ear to the people and translate that to our manager, who actually does the work. We also appoint a city attorney who ensures that we are operating according to the laws that govern us, and a city clerk that maintains our records. These 3 people are the chiefs of this city. Therefore, in order to tackle these challenges that we faced as a city, we needed to start with putting the right people in office. We started with the most important position, the city manager. At this time last year, we had an acting city manager that was in active litigation against the city, making statements and decisions detrimental to the city. And instead of doing what many leaders of the past did so frequently and immediately terminate a manager and cause turnover, we decided to go into a new direction as a commission. We decided to conduct a national search by a third-party executive search firm to bring in a permanent city manager. We received over 60 applicants, one of the largest searches in our history. And we narrowed that down to one person, Mr. John Pate. During that selection process, Mr. Pate was unanimously selected by every person on the commission. His experience in dealing with the city, going under FBI investigation, issues with infrastructure, and even going into receivership with the state made him a perfect fit for our city. And when he got here, he hit the ground running. First, he started off by beginning the first comprehensive evaluation of all directors and employees in over 10 years. Putting together a plan of action to address each of the 99 findings. Figuring out what we need to do over the next few months to complete our 5-year recovery plan so we can get out of this financial crisis. And lastly, and most importantly, is developing a results-oriented government that has yearly goals, objectives, and performance measures. This is the type of leadership we have in the city of Opa locka. These things are important. While a lot of us focus on the events and activities, the very fundamentals of our city needs to get fixed. And I want to give a shout out to our city manager for doing so. Please give him a round of applause for that. On another note, with our city attorney, the pervasive disregard of our laws has led to a huge amount of litigation. At the moment, we have legal issues that is costing us hundreds of thousands of dollars and a potential impact of millions. Every litigation against the city of Opa locka affects our bottom line. It takes away resources from the activities that we need to do to handle the day-to-day operations. So to put a stop to this bleeding, we selected the top woman and minority municipal law firm in the state of Florida, Bernadette Norris Weeks, PA. She has started off by literally dismissing frivolous cases, recapturing monies on behalf of the city, and standardizing our city contracts to ensure that we are operating in alignment with our laws. Since the hiring of these two appointed officials, we have made significant progress in negotiations with City National Bank to release $4 million in funding that has been withheld from the city. Give them a round of applause. Now that we have the right leadership at the top, we got to focus on these challenges. Last year, there were 4. First, our finances. Second, our water bills. Third is flooding and dam moratorium that we have in the city. And fourth, our roads and streets. These major challenges are literally hindering us as a city from doing the basics. So when it comes to our finances, we are still under financial oversight of the governor's office. Since 2016, when the city of Opa locka declared a financial emergency, we have been working with the Inspector General's office to get our finances together. At this time last year, we were 3 years behind in submitting state audits that every city must complete each year. I'm not going to sugarcoat what we got going through. 3 years behind in audits for our CITT funds, also known as Citizens Independent Transportation Trust. Due to these audits not being completed, we have had millions of dollars that we could use to fix these streets and provide transportation services for our residents that have been lost or delayed. However, this past year, we completed 2 of the required audits and 3 of the CITT audits. Out of $1.2 million has been withheld, we've already recovered $900,000 of that. Our goal this year is to completely reconcile our books so we have an accurate picture of where we are as a city. Completing all of our audits is the number one priority of this administration. Because without up-to-date audits, the public, our officials, and our partners do not have an objective view of how we are handling our finances. This is a major factor in receiving millions of dollars for infrastructure, public safety, parks, and recreation. That is why I would like all of us, to give thanks to Ms. Jerry Lazier and her team at Chi-Merge CPA for putting in those late nights and weekend hours to get our finances together. Everyone that I've talked to from our partners at the state and the county have spoken highly of her work. Thank you, Ms. Lazier and your team. Can I stress how important getting our finances together is? We all know that if we don't handle our own household finances, we'll be put out. We can't eat. We have over 140 employees that have not received a basic cost of living wage raise in years. Some who are not even paid a living wage where they have to work multiple jobs. We have programs that touch the lives of thousands of children, seniors, and people. If we do not get our finances together, everyone suffers. And that is why we are moving and making such long initiatives on this audits. One of the terms of the interlocal agreement we had with the state of Florida was that we must complete a 5-year recovery plan within 60 days of its execution, which was in June 2016. We've not done so. Largely because of the fact that we do not have an accurate picture of our finances, due to our audits not being completed and the state of our finance department. This past year, our finance department was operating without a finance director, assistant director, senior accountant, budget administrator, and accountant. Most of these positions are still open, and we just hired a budget administrator. So if you know anyone, let me clarify that. If you know any awesome people with municipal accounting experience, let them know that they have an opportunity to be a part of the greatest turnaround of a government institution in the state of Florida. While all these things that we're tackling right now may seem great, we are making significant strides to turn this ship around. But we have to face the facts and not get around and beat around the bush. We have to face the facts. Another huge impact to our bottom line is our water billing, our second major challenge. This issue has a direct impact on thousands of people. Back in 2016, we conducted a study on our water system and found that over 65% of our water meters were not reading at industry standards. When I initially campaigned, I witnessed firsthand the impact of water billing on residents, business owners, and seniors. We responded immediately to address this issue as quickly as possible. We contracted with the award-winning Miami-Dade County Water and Sewer Department to replace all of our water meters that were not operating up to standards. I didn't say some. I said all of our water meters, and to handle our bills to ensure accuracy. As an added bonus to this agreement, we made sure to pay off all of our debt to the county. Since that time, 82% of our water meters have been replaced. That's over 4,623 meters in 2 years. Yes, there's a clap. Right about that. We got to get this stuff together. 97% of our water accounts have already started to be billed by the county. That's over 5,403 accounts. We will have accurate water bills in the city of Opa locka. And as we all know, with such a substantial change, things happen. There will be kinks. Unfortunately, there are those that will want to take advantage of us while we address our problems. It happens. Due to pending litigation on this matter, I have to be limited in my remarks on this. We all feel the impact of those water bills, and we are working to address them. In an effort to reduce water rates, we have already begun fixing leaks in our system. So far, we have addressed 29 major and minor leaks that will save us 60 million gallons of water a year. There is much to do to address these water bills, and we are taking those steps each and every day. Our third major challenge is our wastewater and sewer management system. Back in 2016, we had 1 out of 19 pump stations fully operational. These pump stations make sure that sewage and wastewater flows out of the city. This caused 70% of our business districts to be under DERM moratorium, which means no new businesses come into those areas. Since that time, we've invested $1.7 million to bring 14 pump stations up to compliance. Now, majority of the city, businesses can expand and create more jobs. Fixing these pump stations makes sure that there's no sewage backups throughout the city, and business can thrive in the city of Opa locka. Speaking of backups, I know many of you have heard about the floods in the city. To address that, we have declared a flooding emergency and issued an RFP for civil engineers who can give us an assessment of our wastewater management system and what we need to do to address the flooding. We hear and we know the countless trials and tribulations our residents, business owners, and visitors face in the city dealing with these waters. We see it for ourselves, and we have directed staff to come up with a plan to address it. The last of the 4 major challenges is our roads and streets. This issue goes hand in hand with our flooding emergency. To address the issue of flooding that is too common throughout the city, we must do major infrastructure work. However, we currently do not have the funds to address these problems that have been plaguing our city for decades. However, we have made strides where we can. First, we invested $162,000 in a pothole patcher so that we can fill all the small and medium-sized potholes right away. When I got elected, we used to get so many complaints about potholes. And at the time, we used to have to pour some asphalt or some rocks in the potholes, and that was it. Now, that is no longer the case. We have provided the tools to get the job done right the first time and have professionally fixed potholes throughout the city of Opa locka. That's not the only change you will see in Opa locka. Over the years, and I know many of our residents have seen this and feel this, we have paved over 9 miles of streets. One of the most constant frustrations that a lot of residents in the city is navigating those potholes. We have worked with Miami-Dade County, Commissioner Barbara Jordan's office, to pave these streets. Right now, you will see 37th Avenue paved, 151st being paved, 22nd being paved. All these streets to ensure that our residents can drive to and from work smoothly. Shout out to Commissioner Barbara Jordan's office for putting in the work to making that happen. So these are just 4 major challenges, and haven't touched on public safety, parks and recreations, and many others. There are those in Tallahassee that say that our problems cannot be fixed. There are those that want us to make a decision to dissolve our city. These people ain't even from around here, and they trying to tell us what to do with our community. You see, our residents already made that decision years ago when they elected all new leadership to go in a new direction. They elected leaders that wasn't about all the fancy stuff. Leaders that will see the challenges that we face day to day and address them. It may not be all nice and sexy, but these are the things that our residents feel. These water bills, these streets, these floodings. These are the problems that we are addressing. And as we tackle these challenges, there are many people that are recognizing a shift in Opa locka. Investors from all across the nation and the world see the potential of this city that sometimes many of us here on the ground are not recognizing. This city is at the epicenter of South Florida. Opa locka is 20 minutes from 2 international airports, has an executive airport with one of the longest runways in the country. Those private jets and millionaires and stars will be flying into Opa locka Executive Airport for this Super Bowl. And they'll be driving through our city. You can get to all the major highways in South Florida. I-95, I-75, 826, and a turnpike within a few minutes from anywhere within the city. We as residents, we know that convenience. And we appreciate being able to get to the beach and to the county quickly, while everybody have to rush through traffic and wait 40, 30 minutes and stuff. We have one of the few tri-rail stations that services our downtown. And soon, with the development of the SMART plan, we will have a metro rail system with direct access to downtown Miami and the airport. We can get to both downtown Fort Lauderdale and the city of Miami within 25 minutes. There are those that are watching Opa locka that see its potential. The Carrie P. Meek Foundation saw the potential of Opa locka. They took the land that was sitting within our city limits on the airport and saw that it can be a place that could create thousands of jobs. And they negotiated and got Amazon to come here and put their largest distribution center in South Florida right here in Opa locka. They've created over 2,000 jobs right there at that Amazon facility. And many of them come from the people from this area in the 33054. Shout out to Carrie P. Meek Foundation, Mr. Kraft, Amazon, for bringing that here. People all across the world are investing millions of dollars in the potential of this city. Many of us have seen articles of an apartment community on our east side that most of us will literally just write off. They just purchased that property for $70,000 per unit, an $8 million deal right here in Opa locka. Last year, Opa locka had the highest total taxable property value growth in Miami-Dade County, with over a 30% increase. That puts $1.8 million of revenue to our bottom line as a government and increases the values of so many property owners all across the city of Opa locka. People love and appreciate Opa locka because it is a small and intimate community. We address complaints about police and code enforcement by implementing a body camera program that reduced complaints by 25%. We care. Our police work with Miami-Dade Fire Rescue to install hundreds of smoke detectors in our senior homes. These little things show us as a community what we need to do to touch the lives of our people. We make sure our seniors have programming and can get to and from activities. We actually just purchased a vehicle that expanded the capacity of our senior citizens' transportation. So now you got 24 on a nice bus to go to and from the movies, Walmart, Walgreens, small little things. That's what we do as a city. We do toy drives and give away bikes at these toy drives. This past year, we gave away 65 bikes to residents within our community. And then went a step further to train our staff on how to fit helmets on the bikes. This upcoming year, we're going to give over 200 helmets away to residents and students and kids within our community to ensure they know how to ride their bikes safely through the city of Opa locka. And I have to shout out to Commissioner Burke for leading that effort with the toy drive. Each month, we give away tons of food, fresh food, fruits and vegetables to our residents. We've been doing this for years. Commissioner Kelly has been mayor, vice mayor, has been doing that for many, many, many years because we want to make sure that our residents have healthy choices. Give you a round of applause for Commissioner Kelly, please. Little things, like understanding the work of our employees, is serious. This past year has been a very trying time for many staff within the city of Opa locka. They've had to put in long hours, late nights, weekend times, and they do so much for the city. Many times it's been a thankless job over the years. But this year, one of our commissioners, Commissioner Bass, decided to celebrate our employees and provide an amazing holiday party right here in this facility. Thank you, Commissioner Bass, for making that happen. One of the things that's been near and dear to my heart that Vice Mayor Davis has championed since being elected is addressing the slum conditions across Opa locka. Since being elected, he has held property managers accountable, made sure that we was issuing citations, calling in state and federal legislature to ensure that our residents live in respectable environments throughout the city of Opa locka. And I got much respect, Vice Mayor, for leading that effort. Recently, we did a citywide upgrade of our technology infrastructure, including providing a public portal to Laserfish so that we can increase access to our documents and transparency throughout the city of Opa locka. We're doing an overhaul to ensure that our residents are much more engaged in the city. You can go on the website, find out whatever you need to know by going into Laserfish. Also, we actually starting to revamp our website. Want to recognize it. Is Nelson here? Nelson Rodriguez in the room? Stepped out in the back. All right, Nelson, good. Put your hand up. Nelson is overhauling our website, and he is recruiting citizens to participate. So you're interested in making sure that our website fits the needs of our residents, please contact Nelson. As I said, it is on those of us in this room to ensure that we are doing our part to make this city shine. Each of us have the ability to bring our resources and our expertise to empower our youth. There are some people in this room who have gone the extra mile for our future and our youth. First of all, So I have anyone that's involved with our Optimist programs in the room, Optimist and sports programs. Stand for a moment. Stand for a moment. All right. We have a squad of at least 20 volunteers, coaches, volunteers that come out after work to work with our youth. And they literally take the time to transform our youth into champions. Every year since I've been on this dais, at least one team, basketball, football, of our kids have gone to national championships. This year, our 8 and under division won the National Youth League Championship. Also, Teen Upward Bound, 7th grade team, won a championship at the National AAU event. Please give them a round of applause. Sports are not the only thing we do after school. Chef Dario Stephen, please stand. This brother is one of my childhood friends. And like me, he went away to college and he came back home. He actually came back to his alma mater, Northwestern High School, to lead its Culinary Institute. But that wasn't enough for him. He wanted to impact more kids and teach them culinary skills and how to cook. And he started a program called Kids Can Cook, a 6-week program that he conducted right here in Opa locka, teaching our kids healthy eating and cooking classes for the future of our youth. Thank you. As a city, we are on 24/7 throughout the whole year. It doesn't stop, even in the summer. And we create, as a government, a platform for the community to step up and engage our residents. This facility that you're currently in and others across the city are yours to program, to support. One person has used Shabundi Village to kickstart a program that has been teaching water safety skills for hundreds of people here in Opa locka and across Miami-Dade County. Miss Bridget Washington McKinney and the P-SWAT team, could you stand for a moment? Years ago, Miss McKinney saw multiple news reports of our future, our kids, drowning. As a longtime educator, she was frustrated with the lack of life skills our school system doesn't teach. Instead of sitting back and complaining, she did something about it. She organized Black Nurses Associations, lifeguards, volunteers, people all across the community to teach our children how to survive in the water. Opa locka was that platform. And now it has grown into a statewide movement to teach water safety skills all across the state of Florida. This summer, she taught over 1,100 people water safety skills in Miami-Dade County. Over 620 were taught right here in Opa locka. I have actually special thanks to Miss McKinney and the P-SWAT team, because it was actually at her award ceremony that brought the greatest blessing of my life. While I was sitting here, I went to this room. I saw my wife at a table right over here in the city of Opa locka. When I spotted that lady, I knew that was going to be my love, my life. Now I got 2 awesome little ladies and a son because Miss McKinney decided to teach some kids how to swim in Opa locka. Opa locka is a place where families are established. Opa locka is a place where champions are made. Opa locka is a place where businesses thrive, where people with ideas can create a foundation for our community to shine. This city is a special, special place for many of us. We work, we live, we love in the city of Opa locka. And while we may have some great challenges all across this city, we are facing them head on because we want to be grateful for what we have. We want to make sure that our community is a platform for our kids to step up. It is on us as a city, each and every one of us in this room, to do our part to make sure that our community thrives. So as we move forward as a city, the state of the city of Opa locka is in our hands. And it is on each of us to do our part to make this city shine. Thank you.